Hey there everyone, and welcome back to a new video. Today what I have created is my Notifier AFP-200 fire alarm demo system. Now firstly, before we even get any further into the video, I need to give a huge shout out to Canadian Alarms, who very generously gifted me this Notifier AFP-200. So I am very thankful for that, as this is a pretty cool fire alarm system. It's a older Notifier addressable system. It can actually do quite a bit, and I do highly recommend these panels. I haven't learned everything there is to know about it yet, and I'm still learning as we speak, and as I set up these things, I'm still learning more about these. In some ways, they are very similar to the newer Notifier Onyx panels, like the 320, 640, etc. And it's also very similar to the Fire Warden series of panels, or Notifier's version of, say, the Firelight 9200. In many ways they are similar to those panels, especially the older ones that are clip only and not Notifier's version of Lightspeed. I would say in some ways they are not quite as user-friendly, but overall they are a very solid, small addressable panel, this one being a AFP-200. Capable of 99 detectors and 99 modules, running the clip protocol, so no flash scan and no Lightspeed or Notifier's equivalent of Lightspeed. Now we'll talk more about the panel in a little bit after we go over devices, but I will warn you, I'm not too experienced with these panels. I don't know all there is about them and the details, but I will tell you what I do know. But firstly, I think we should go over our devices that I have installed on the system. Now this is not necessarily a period specific system where it's devices you would see from that time. I don't really have enough devices to make it proper, but I've tried to keep it. Yeah, I have kept it all Notifier or System Sensor, who is a supported company by Notifier Honeywell. So firstly, we have two pull stations. We have two Notifier NBG12 LXs. If I open this up, if I can do that with one hand here, ignore these numbers on the pull station. That is not the actual address. That's where it was installed in a building and then never actually programmed in or used. This is of course polling red because this is clip protocol. So we have two of these guys. These are just programmed in as module 1 and 2 pull stations. Now for smoke detectors, I have two FSP-851s. If I pop this guy off the base here, we should get a system trouble. You can see these are set as address 1 and 2. This guy being 1, that one being 2, as you can see at the back there. Notifier FSP. You can see this trouble comes up on the system here. I installed two of my only three 851s instead of my many 951s because, don't quote me on this, but I believe only select 951s are supporting of the clip protocol, that they mostly only support flash scan. I believe there was the Ivory models that were supported of, that would support both protocols, but if I'm not wrong, they actually discontinued that product and only sell the flash scan ones now. So as far as the 851s, which is the generation before the 951s, being these detectors here, are the 851s. These ones can support both clip and flash scan, so I knew that and just decided to put these on the system knowing that these would work. As you do have to be careful with detectors, more so than modules on addressable systems, as they will sometimes support only specific protocols, whereas usually modules like pull stations, they don't care. The pull stations have been the same for the last 25 years or however long the series has been out, and they support all the protocols. They don't care. But detectors, some only support the older ones, some only support the newer ones, some support both, but as I said, I believe those have been discontinued. So now moving over, what is our notification device? Well, we have this 10-inch bell here. This is a Notifier bell fitting in the system. This is a motor bell, pretty similar to a Edwards MB10-24 if you're familiar with that bell. It's a very popular bell in Canada here. System Sensor also sells one of these types of bells, one of these motor bells, which they all seem to be based off the Edwards MB10-24. This one being a KMS-10-24A. When you see 10 in a bell's model number, that pretty much tells you it's a 10-inch bell, and 24 is, well, 24 volts is this particular bell voltage input. Now moving down to our second row of devices, we have two more types of modules installed. We have this guy, which you may notice this is flashing green. But why is it flashing green? That's what FlashScan does. This is a clip system. How is it doing that? Well, that's because it's not a monitor module. This is a relay module. Just like this Firelight system here, even though this isn't running clip, it's running Lightspeed, it still is the same principle where all the devices will pull red, except for relay modules and control modules. That's why this control module here is pulling green instead of the regular red. And if we go outside and look at my generator building here, same thing where your normal monitor module will be pulling red. However, a relay module like this generator shutdown pulls green. So that's the exact same thing with this system here running clip, where this relay module pulls green. Here over to the right of that relay module, we have a monitor module. This monitor module, nothing too special about it, just a monitor module, and what it's monitoring is this conventional heat detector here. System Sensor 5601A. Now you may notice there's a door holder magnet over here too, and this is configured a little bit more special than your general just let's go on every alarm. That's involving these four bottom rows of devices. So this heat detector, which is monitored by this monitor module here, is not only set to our 00 to activate all our NACs, it's also zoned separately, where this is on zone 5. Nothing else is zoned here other than zone 00, which will just automatically activate all your NACs if you have the NACs programmed like that, where 00 will activate them. This guy here, this relay module, is also programmed into zone 5, which it's controlling this magnet. As you see, if I have to, this magnet is ran off the panel's auxiliary 24 volts, which I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend doing that if this was a real setup, but that's fine for this demo. Ran through this relay, where this relay will only let go if this is set off, if this heat detector is set off. This bell on this system is coded to temporal through the panel's NAC. This is ran off NAC 1. And everything I've said here is all theoretical because I haven't fully tested any of this yet. I've just ran an auto-programmed and programmed things up and pulled one pull station and started a video, so I'm not actually sure if anything works here. Before we get into testing, let's talk a little bit about the AFP-200. You can see I do have it trouble-free, and I do have batteries in it, of course. So if we open the door up here, with these AFP-200s, the devices that would have been released with the panel at that time were what we still have here, NBG12LXs, and the detectors at that time would have been FSP-751s. Of course, we're using 851s, but that's fine. These were pretty similar to your Onyx series. You could have your LCD-80s, slightly older ones than what we have now, the LCD-280, but you could have up to 32 annunciators ran off it. And I'm not sure if these were able to be networked to other panels or not. I think they could be, but I could be wrong on that. You could do all the same. You could still do your annunciators like your ACM 8, which is your button, and you could do your AEM 16 ATs, which is your buttons, with all your lights that could be customized how you want that to illuminate and work. And you could do your LDM32, which is your lamp driver for custom graphics. So very capable panels. You could do quite a bit with these. And no, I don't know all this off the top of my head. I may or may not have my phone in my hand looking at the specs of these panels. On this panel, we have 3 different outputs for auxiliary power. You have your high ripple regulated power, whatever the hell that means. Ripple? I don't know. You have non-resettable power, which is what I'm using, so that's constant power, and that is limited to 5 amps between all of the outputs, which would also be considering your resettable power, which would be something you'd use for powered smoke detectors, where that power will drop out when the system's reset. This system has 4 NACs, which are limited to 2.5 amps of current. We have 3 relays, your standard supervisory alarm trouble relay. The relays are rated for 2 amps at 30 volts DC. I'm not sure if the relays on this panel are programmable like they are on the newer Firelight panels as well as Notifier panels. And your SLC on this system, you have your typical 3 options. Actually, I shouldn't say typical, as some panels don't support Class A. I believe there are some smaller panels that are only Class B. But you can do your Class A, Class B, or how they refer to it on the manual, Style 4 for Class B. Style 6 is your Class A, and Style 7, I believe Style 7 is your Class A with branches. Could be wrong on that. And I could go on for days and days with this, but I don't think you want to hear all of the technical with this panel, as that's a data sheet. You can download that PDF if you're interested. I will say though, we do have the bell set to temporal 3. I believe I did mention that. Your options are temporal, march time, continuous, California, and 2-stage. I don't have a 2-stage set up here. That would be cool. I'd have to figure out how you set up a 2-stage system. And there are pre-alarm and pre-signal options that can be programmed on this panel. Pre-signal is different than pre-alarm. One of those is a timed sequence where if it's not silenced in this amount of time, your system will go into alarm. That is pre-signal. And then pre-alarm is giving you a heads up if your detectors are over a set value but not quite at their full alarm activation level. With that said, I don't want to bore you guys, so let's get into testing this system. Okay, let's start off with pulling one of our pull stations. Let's start with this guy here. Just thought I'd let you hear the relays click. Go ahead and silence that. Something strange with this is when I pulled the pull stations, you may have noticed it didn't go solid red. I'm not sure why this pull station is doing that, but that's how it seems to be. And as you can see, as it was supposed to, it did not activate our relay module and let go of our magnetic door holder. Pull station module address number 1, I just left that as default, and it's just set to zone 00, which I believe it needs to be to activate your NACs. We can re-alarm by pulling our second pull station here. Alright, let's try and set off our smokies. Start with the smoke on our left, and I don't have pre-alarm set up, so it'll either be going off or it won't. May set them both off, we'll see. Okay, we'll go ahead and set off the other one. Okay, now let's do the fun one. Let's set off this heat detector where once we do, that will drop this magnet here. I don't think it's cold enough outside that I'll be able to set it off with my hand. It's pretty warm today, so probably not going to happen. So we'll do it with some fire. Don't do it this way. Don't try this at home. I should probably tell you guys not to. But once we do set this off, if I have it programmed right, the keyword there was if, this magnet should let go. And it turns out I do have that programmed right. I was pretty confident it would let go, but I wasn't sure if it would be set up as silenceable, which you can see it isn't, so I did remove that where it's not set to silenceable, where it will go back. Give that detector a little bit to cool down. Oh, that's probably cool enough now. And we can reset this system. This is a very fast resetting system. Watch this when I hit reset here. Watch how fast it takes for it to go back to normal. There you go, back to normal. May take longer if it's got more devices on it. Smokey went off again. This smoke spray I've been using seems to linger around a little longer. This stuff here. Because I remember when I used it on my house system, it went back into alarm after. Hopefully this will stay happy and normal this time. I can show you the fire drill on this panel. Not only that should not drop our door closer because that's off a relay module that's only activated by that detector. I'm not sure what our NAC circuit will do, if it will do temporal or if it'll do continuous. Because sometimes panels will do that. They'll be different on the drill. We'll try it out. Drill, hold 2 seconds. We can go ahead and do a AC fail too to see how this is in a AC failure. Unplug this. You see you lose your backlighting on the screen. We can probably wake it up by hitting any of the keys. No, we can't. Okay, cool. We can go ahead and set something off. So actually activating something does wake the screen up. That turns your backlighting back on. Still seems weird that these don't go solid red once you've pulled them, but whatever. We'll plug this power back in here. Oh, it's kind of got a thumpy transformer there. Boom! Plug it back in. I'll briefly show you guys around the panel, around the interface with how you interact with it. So to do anything, you hit enter, and there you can go into programming or read status. So let's just check out read status first. We can read the points, read history, and that's it. That's as far as it'll let you scroll down. So let's hit read points. So to do, let's say we want to read a detector to see its value. Detector is going to be this guy here. So you're going to hit that, and then you're going to hit your detector number. Let's say we want to read number 202, it doesn't show that you're inputting anything, which makes it a little less user-friendly when you can't see what you're actually inputting. You just have to kind of know what you're doing there. Then enter. It's not as bad as something like the EST Fire Shield, where all your programming is completely blind. It sucks. I would not recommend that as a starter panel because of that, because you really have to know how to read your diagrams and know how to program things blindly, because you're pretty much doing it with your eyes closed. So there you can see your levels there of your detector. And yeah, so back, we'll head out of that. To read a bell circuit, I'm not sure if it'll let you actually. We can try it. Oh, it will. Bell number 1. There you go. So you can see your Z98. That is your special zone. That's what's giving it its synchronization. That'd be like F8 on your 320. And your SW is for your silenceable versus non-silenceable. I'm actually not sure what corresponds to what, but you can have it as like SW or star W. There's a few different ways. If somebody knows all the different, like basically cheat code and what means what, that'd be great to know. We can check out programming. So we'll put in our level 2 password, which is all zeros, same as it's always been. And you're clearing the programming. Number 1 is auto program. That's the only way to add a point, but you can modify a point by hitting 2, and you can delete a point or modify a point. So let's say we want to modify a point. Number 1, we want to do, say, a module, say our relay module. So you'll hit that for module, and then 0, 3, enter. That is our relay module. You can change its type code, just like any other thing. Nothing too different about this panel. Will not let us go backwards? Guess not. Guess we have to go all the way through. Relay module, you don't want a relay set to a control, or you will have a trouble, because it'll be looking for a resistor, but of course it won't because it's a relay module. There you can add more zones to it, and we have this one set to star star, which, whatever that means, it seems to be non-silenceable. Different options you can do with it. You can do S star, okay, that's just S star, or you can do W star. So whatever those combinations do, they seem to do something with it being silenceable versus non-silenceable. So I'll escape this. Don't do this to me. There we go. And let's take a look at our bell circuit. So it'd be star number, let's take a look at 1, enter. So we have this programmed as bell circuit, strobe circuit, horn circuit, audible circuit, nothing, release circuit, bell circuit, we'll leave it as that. I didn't mean to go back out of that. And you have your same SW down there, and you add that to your zones. Nothing too special with that. If we head back out here, you can change your message. Number 4. Right now we have no system normal message, but we could. Your passwords. Number 3. We don't need to mess with passwords. Zones for number 5. You can change your zone labels, 1 to 89. I guess that's how many zones you get. Okay, I see. Seems like a weird number. Maybe I'm seeing that wrong. And then 6 is your special zone. So that's where things like our synchronization is. So 90 is your pre-signal. So if we wanted to go into that, we just hit 90 pre-signal. Your pre-signal delay, 180. Password, no password required. Okay, that's it for your pre-signal. Whatever 91 through 94 is, 95 to 96 is your time functions. 97, is that holiday? Yeah, holiday. So if you want to change the way your devices function during holiday times, change their sensitivity during holiday, change sequences of events, that's what you can do in there. Same thing you can do on your modern panels, probably there's a good chance there's a slightly less functions for what would this be, 1990s panel, late 90s, early 2000s? Not exactly sure. If someone knows, let me know. 98 is your coding for your NACs. So that's, you can see what I did mess with. You have temporal, California, 2-stage, March time. Okay. Or I'm not sure actually how you make that just steady, but I guess probably to make it steady, you just get rid of this zone 98 in your actual NAC. You just get rid of that and it would just be a steady. So that's your coding, 99, pre-signal or pre-alarm. So here we got that set up where if we turned on pre-signal, you get your pre-signal at 70% of your alarm. So, okay, so that's, say, 70% of your alarm level, but where do you actually change your alarm level? Sorry, guys, I'm actually not familiar with every function of that, but let's say we did want to change that. I'm getting sidetracked here. What's under system functions? Blink, yes. Can you change off? Can you change it where it won't pull? Might be able to change visual polling. You can on the newer ones, make it less frequent or not at all, I believe. But let's say we want to go to point program, we want to modify a point. This will be detector number 1, enter. Okay, I guess that's your sensitivity, so you don't really get the 1 through, 9, where they come factory at 8. You get high, medium, low, which honestly I don't have a problem with that. I don't think you need all 9 levels of sensitivity. Doesn't seem that necessary to me. Low, medium, high is probably fine, so that's set to medium sensitivity as is, but you could change that sensitivity lower or higher. Not sure what this function is here. Somebody knows what the star P star means, because it looks like you can change that. I'm not sure what you can change it to, but you can change it. So yeah. Now that's probably about as in-depth into the programming as I want to get, considering I'm not even fully knowledgeable on this panel with how you do program it. What are you upset about? I think that's what I did. I added an enunciator in here. You can see you can add all your different devices there. So none supervised. That's probably what we want. What's your errors? What do you mean no inputs? What are you on about? It literally just worked. I don't know why they keep saying no inputs, because there are inputs. So I just have been ignoring that, but that was our problem. Is we had an enunciator set up and obviously none actually installed. Alright, well with all that said and done, I think that's about all there is for me to show in this video. So if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you do have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those down in the comments section down below, and if you do have any of the answers to the various things I asked about this system, because there was many, I'd love to hear about it, because I'd like to learn more and more about this panel. It's pretty interesting little panel, and it seems to be a pretty capable little panel too, especially for its time. It's got lots of good features on it. So yeah guys, that's gonna be it for this one. If you guys do enjoy my channel, make sure to subscribe, and if you are interested, make sure to check out my Instagram account at Pickle700 for bonus content, stuff posted earlier than you'd see it on the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching.